still haven't quite figured out what we're going to call this yet. Tentative name is Show and Tell.
You know.
We have come up with a ranking system for it now. We have our ranking system. We're going to have par, birdie, bogey. So par is it's cool, but it has not really got us excited.
It's not moving the needle.
Yep, it's not moving the needle.
Interesting.
Birdie it's cool and it is moving the needle. Like we think it's pretty interesting. Bogey it still might be cool, but it ain't quite our cup of tea. All right, and then we have our polar opposites. We're going to have SHANK. It's just a total miss. Okay, for whatever reason, it's a SHANK. Okay, and then we have our on the opposite end of that, the really good side of that, we're going to call it striped. Okay, so that's just a flush dead center hit. That's
almost as good as a hot dog at the turn.
Almost as good as a glizzy. Okay, so keep that in mind. What we're going to do is take a look at some photos here, and we're going to rank them par, birdie, bogey, and then we might throw a SHANK or a striped in there. We don't know yet.
Okay.
All right, what do y'all think?
Par.
Give it a par. Why are you giving it a par? Come on, convince me that it's a par.
Because it's boring.
It's boring.
If you look at Scotty Cameron in the early 2000s, back when he did your My Girls, your Holidays, like your limited head covers, they put a lot of effort into it. And I think the last 2 years into these theme putters and these themed head covers, it doesn't seem like a lot of effort goes into it anymore. Like the classic Scotty Cameron grinder head covers or the Jackpot Johnnies, it's a knockoff of Monsters Inc.
I'm going to call this.
So I think that's what they're trying to do.
Caleb, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a bogey.
This is a bogey?
I think this is a bogey because I can't be convinced that this putter just wasn't made on a computer. Like this is just a made photo.
So it's not even a real
I don't think
putter,
it's a real putter.
Okay.
I think, yes, they put this up for Halloween. Wow, that's cool. You can't convince me that it's a real putter itself.
So y'all think it's a par or a bogey?
Because think, you can put a Santa Claus head cover behind it next to put the, red, green, Christmas tree.
Well, and that's
in the
what
middle.
the holiday putter used to be, and they just don't do it anymore.
I hear y'all's input, and I'm going to go with SHANK. Now, as big a fan as I like Scotty Cameron putters, but I think it's a SHANK. They total missed opportunity here to do one of those little oogle eyes that move around and wiggle around. If it had done that, it might have been a strike.
That means we're on the same page because Kyle just said par because Kyle's like, I respect the craftsmanship. I think it's a miss because you can't convince me. Like, honestly, Miles, you could go on the computer and make that yourself, right? If you had a picture of a Scotty Cameron.
Yeah. I think if they could have done the oogle eye, they got it on the head cover, right? Yep. If they had it in the putter, that'd have been cool right there.
Well, especially they already got the little white felt. I know they put a blue light on it to make it look different, but make it look like fall.
Next one.
But I remember my first golf club.
Those are older than all of us. That's a birdie for me.
Birdie?
Yeah. I love that retro look. Obviously, we've been fortunate to, on our YouTube channel, have a persimmon challenge. So the feel of hitting a persimmon and that little red dot that's right there, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, I would probably say birdie or par. I don't know much about old clubs. I just like hitting them. You guys got to educate me.
There's nothing that really replaces persimmon, quite honestly. I'll give it a birdie. I'm going to go with you guys. I think these are, I say grands. Are these Mizuno grands? Yeah.
Mizuno. Never mind, that makes sense.
These were nice.
Question is, how flat were those line angles? Then that might change my answer.
It looks pretty flat right there.
But,
all right, so we give it a birdie. All right, let me hear what y'all think on these.
Considering that we both got skunked on the left shoe, Kyle, I'm going to say they're a bogey because I didn't get selected. There's too many bots in the selection system. That's the Travis Scott edition.
That's the one you had to prove you hit it 200 yards to buy. Right?
No, well, a shop that's selling them in the UK is doing that, which I think is amazing. But no, it's a lottery system. So like you get selected possibly that you can then go buy the shoe, which we both got denied.
I would say, not because I got denied, I would say it's a SHANK, in between a SHANK and a bogey.
Okay.
Almost like a double bogey.
So you're just going to say bogey then?
Yeah, because the golf shoe itself on the left is actually pretty comfortable to swing in. However, this shoe, which was supposed to be limited based off of Travis Scott.
His last Nike shoe.
It's Nike has turned into more fashion than actual golf. I mean, they can't even make a shoe for Tiger. But the reason why I say that is if you were an influencer, you got these shoes, no problem. So they they made this item that's supposed to be super hard to get, super rare, but if you're an influencer, they send them out so you could wear them in every video. So your Michael Blocks, your Trotties, like they're all wearing these shoes.
The who you know's got the
Correct.
shoes.
So it went from being an elite shoe that was a lottery chance to, if you have a social media platform and you're an influencer.
Which Jordan has always done really good at.
Correct.
Of like limited edition runs of shoes.
Right.
That even if you're DJ Khaled, like
you couldn't get them. You had to
I'm
go through
gonna-
the system.
yeah, you gotta
I'm gonna piss all you 2000s kids off. Shank. I don't like them. I've never liked any of the Jordan golf shoes. I think they look weird.
So
They don't look like golf shoes. They
So
don't feel like golf shoes.
I've been wearing
Shank,
I've
let's
been
go to the
wearing
next
the
one.
same I've been wearing the same shoe, and they're a birdie because of how comfortable they are.
Good for you.
And Swing Cat tells me that it's the right shoe for
All
me.
right. Well,
But
I don't like Shank.
the
par.
TVDs.
Par. The
yeah, it's
doesn't move
par.
the needle.
No, it doesn't move the needle.
Yeah.
We glued on some ferrules and
Somebody's last three letters of their name are ski.
Wow.
There must be Polish. My best friend growing up has that name.
All right. So we got Kyle's a birdie. It's not really, or a par. It's not really
yeah.
moving the needle for him.
kind of basic. So
I'll say those are the TVDs, which that's right before they came out with wedge work. So it was actually the first kind of wedges that came out of Titleist's tour department that maybe Aaron Dill got his hands on, or Vokey himself in creating the grinds. I'm going to go with a birdie just because of that. Okay. As far as the ferrules, I don't love, but you know,
That wouldn't be my pick, but
I like the middle one.
one
Is
on
that
there.
like is it white or is it pink?
I think it's white. I'm gonna say for starters, these are probably SM4s because they got the CC stamp, so they got the condition of competitions. These came out right in 2010. I've got a set of these.
Yeah, I know you do.
And they're the raw, rusty ones. I'm gonna give us a birdie.
I will say this: why is the raws on the old wedges like just so much
different
than this modern raw?
I don't know for sure, but I think they may have changed the steel they're using.
There is a difference because I was just thinking about this the other day when I was wiping off one of my wedges. I was like, I don't ever remember like my old Vokeys, my raws that I had, like getting this slick.
I know they used to always say they used either 1020 or 1025 carbon steel, and I think they may have gone to a different.
There's something different
steel
on in the wedge.
Right?
margin building still.
Well, I mean, it's not even that. It's from a metallurgy standpoint, the carbon content. Well, what it really means is how much can a steel be heat treated and hardened. And so typically in golf clubs, we use a fairly low carbon content steel so they stay soft.
Yeah.
Now within that, there's 1,000 different variants of low carbon steels. But birdie.
Shank. So gross. So gross. I wanted to like that club so much because it was like adjustable driving iron.
I think you feel personally offended by this.
Adjustable driving iron. And then when those came out and I took them out to hit,
you couldn't get a flat enough fly angle, could you?
No, but not only that, you always felt like the adapter was moving.
Yeah.
In them, like it just felt very clicky, and they were just a huge miss for me. I think the modern stealth is really good.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a bogey. I don't miss building these things. When they first came out, we had a low, mid, high. Yeah. So they did this whole like shaping
they
series.
They were a shaft breaker.
Not only did they break a lot of shafts, it was kind of like, this is right when speed foam was in its like early stages.
Infancy,
and the tour ones were actually bonded. So the last one of this I actually built was for Akshay Bhatia before he left TaylorMade. They were all bonded because the tour guys with the adapter were breaking it, and where they were placing the weight, it was changing the CG location. Yeah. So all the guys on tour that played this didn't play the retail version. They played a tour-only bonded version.
Right.
Yeah, because if you put all the weight towards the toe, like what a better player would want, that adapter is going to get.
So I actually had this club in the bonded version with the Even Flow 110 Proto. And then, and that green weight was silver. And even like with all that, it was not my favorite compared to the UDI.
Shank.
Yeah, it's a shank.
Yeah.
And it's a shank for this reason here. That we don't have the top line profile, but it's
thick.
Yeah.
She was thick.
Yeah. It being somebody that still plays, these longer irons and still play a drive. I cannot stand to see the backside of the golf club at a dress.
And that was the issue with like the mid and the high.
Yeah,
it was a hybrid. And I would say from
to me, the
TaylorMade,
mid and highs looked better because they were more hybrid, and it made
true.
sense to have a little bigger head shape.
No, the
But
only
this
thing,
one, it needed to be
that's a
little
birdie
smaller.
on that club is that those came out with the very first generation of the KBS Tour Graphite Iron Tour Proto shafts.
Yep.
That club introduced those shafts.
We don't know what shaft this one has in it.
No,
so it's
you
a
can
shame.
tell by that matte finish.
This is where TaylorMade's made the biggest improvement. Their driving irons now are 10 times better than what GAPR was.
Yeah, the stealth looks better.
Can I get that GAPR?
Cool. Shank.
All right.
Well, awesome.
We got to wrap this up.
Were we too hard on those? Or all right.
Better stuff. We need more.